One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
I want to switch gears just a little bit off of that topic. I'm always fascinated by the variety of coverage that you push out on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And this, that going to this symposium or seminar is something you identified, I'm sure, weeks or months ago to get this perspective on men's basketball in the marketplace. But how do you start building out, walk me through on a monthly basis how you will build out your content schedule? How do you think about what your constituents locally there in Virginia are interested in and how you respond to that with your pieces?
It's a terrific question. And it kind of depends on the time of year. Right now, we're obviously when you're not in a pro town, which obviously I am not. You're kind of beholden to the school year calendar, and right now, not many events, games to cover, opine about, analyze, and use that as the jumping off point for ideas. So you are looking more for issues. You mentioned media rights deals and such. We'll be going to media days here, within the month now for football. So you just kind of look at the calendar. You look, hey, I often joke with my newspaper colleagues, with the advent of the internet and click counts, we now understand how our radio and television colleagues have been living for years. They're judged on ratings, right? Yeah. Well, now all of a sudden there's kind of a readership rating for us as reporters and writers. Okay. Who's clicking now? Is that the sole judge? I sure hope not. But in large measure, it is. So you do have to kind of gauge, okay, what is going to draw an audience?
I want to come back to that broader point, but first would like to ask, you do a damn good job, in my opinion, of also covering the business side of Virginia Tech, Virginia, other schools in the Mid-Atlantic, certainly the ACC, and I, of course, have to mention some people out there who call you the Swofford Whisperer, so you've got that angle going for you as well. But in all seriousness, David, when you dig into how the business of college athletics functions, do you see a marked drop off in engagement for those who read your pieces because it's not the sexiest thing of all time? Look, for my audience, that is right down the middle what we are looking for, right? But for the greater audience in the state of Virginia, maybe it's not.
It is, though. That's the somewhat surprising thing that I have found over the years. When the ACC annually releases its tax return, dude, that is clickbait for my audience. It's amazing. If scheduling, media rights deals, finances, among my many character flaws is I'm kind of a wonk or a nerd. I like policy. I like process. It interests me. And fortunately, for me, there's an audience for that out there.
Yeah, I wish that were the case in more marketplaces. It's certainly the case here in Louisville, which is hypersensitive, of course, to college athletics. And, John Wilner does a great job with it out in the West Coast. And
he's outstanding.
Wilner is absolutely, you and Wilner are kind of in a class of your own. And there's others. But, of course, as a guy who is curating this on a daily basis for leaders in college athletics, I certainly wish there were more who had the same mindset to cover what some would consider the minutia of the business. Which brings me to what I want to come back to. So yesterday it was Stuart Mandel, which is, in my opinion, a crushing blow for the coverage of college football. And I've said to you before offline, there has to be another model. There has to be another model. And I'm not asking you to really think that through, because you've always given me an answer of, well, I've been in this business for so long and I don't know any different. But what emotions do you feel when you see a guy like Stewart? And there are too many examples to run through at this point in time over the last, not just the last month with ESPNs and Foxes now, but over the last couple of years, of course, with what's happening in the greater newspaper media market. Do you guys kid about it internally, or is it a half kidding, like half serious deal? Like, what's the attitude when something like this happens?
You really come at it from, I think, Matt, from two angles. Number one, and maybe both angles are selfish. First of all, I'm a fan of these folks' work. I mean, I try to read. I'm a D1 ticker guy. I'm on Twitter all the time. I read Stuart Mandel. I read Dana O'Neill and all these quality folks. So I'm going to miss Stuart's stuff for as long as he's off the grid. I miss Dana's regular offerings at ESPN. And then you can't help but look at it from a personal standpoint. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, but without getting too personal with your listeners, I've got a kindergartner, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta get that girl through school, right? And you do wonder about the future of the business, and sometimes you do kind of joke about it because there's really nothing else you can do, because you really can't control it. You just try to do the best you can and hope the folks who are, sliding a few bucks your way every 2 weeks continue to find value in what you do.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.